Hey everyone, welcome back to automation. So today I'm going to be messing around with the advanced settings quite significantly, so if you're into that, then welcome to me attempting to make a three-wheeled Bugo. Now, using the advanced settings in the past, I have made this gigantic off-road Bugo, which hasn't actually been featured in any videos yet, but just to give you an example of some of the things that we can achieve with this beauty. And the cool part is that we can go beyond the limits with a little bit of trickery. Before we get into that, I just wanted to say thank you to those who are still buying stickers on my website, automotiveflux.com. I haven't mentioned it in like a month, but still there have been orders, so thank you. Because of the revenue from that, I have been able to upgrade my setup a little bit. I've got some foam above me now. You can't see it, but I'll show you. And just little things like that to try and make things sound better. Honestly, I do think that the studio here is a little bit less echoey now, so a little bit of some improvement like that really do go a long way, and your support makes these things happen, so thanks. And let's get back into the video. So as previously mentioned, I'm going to be attempting to make a three-wheeled Bugo. Now the thing is, it is going to be technically four-wheeled, but we're going to make it look like it's three-wheeled because that's fun. So that's basically the disclaimer out of the way. It's not actually three wheels, it's just the back wheels are going to be morphed into one. And yes, the back wheels, because I actually want it to be able to turn, although we'll make a version where it's both. I don't know. This is going to be weird, okay? Let's just try this out in BeamNG before we go too far. So moving on to the rear end, basically what I want to do is undo some of our height. Well, the height is significant at the moment. The suspension is definitely going to need to be lowered. I'm just going back to 0 for now. I know that it's really weird looking. We'll come back to the actual everything else at the end of this, but the most of this is going to be done in the advanced settings. Because this Bugo is already made, we can kind of just go through some of the other stuff that needs to happen. Like I'm going to shrink down the tires to be medium compound instead of off-road. 11-inch rims are probably going to be fine, and I will just have to come back to this later again. Okay, the moment we've been waiting for, let's collapse the front just to make it easier to see. But the wheel offset is the big deal here. So if we go down in the slider, that is as low as we can get, -100, not ideal. Let me just reset these wheel widths and also the wheel diameter as well, and everything else maybe. There we go, that's a little bit more realistic. It's still jacked up to heck, but that's better than it was. I guess that's probably, yeah, it's done here, so we'll just make this a little bit more normal perhaps. And there you go, average everyday Bugo right there. But as I was saying, the offset only goes down to -100 if you have it set up this way. But there's a lot more that you can do with this, and I'm going to zoom out to show you. We can say go -500. You just have to manually type it in, and all of a sudden we get this. We could go full Reliant Robin here and have a single front wheel, but the problem with that is I don't think the steering is going to work in BeamNG.drive, and my biggest concern with this vehicle is I want the steering to actually function in BeamNG.drive. So if we make it have a single rear wheel, it should drive, at least theoretically. I mean, the Bugo is front wheel drive, so the rear wheels are kind of just dragging anyways. It's about that front end that we well, that's where all the action happens, so we can do it whatever we want with the rear. So that's what -500 looks like. Now let's try -1000. And that actually didn't do much. I thought it was going to be more. -5000 sends them off into the abyss. I think we're at the point now where it's turned around completely, so let's do -900. And then just kind of keep going down. Oh wait. Keep going down further and further until we get our goal. It seems like it's somewhere in between 900 and 800 to have a dead center. But as I continue to click, our wheels are clicking as well, and now we have a big boy rear end. Keep going. Okay, I was a little bit wrong, but it's -746 that gives us the single rear wheel, which is very fun. Now, to make it a little bit better, perhaps I'm going to increase the size of these. Maybe 200 is a little too much. Let's just do like 180, and then I'll try and mix them together. Okay, so there's the point where we have one wheel at the back once again. The mesh for this is going to look disgusting, so don't worry. Let's make the wheel concaveness significantly less, if that'll actually do anything. We're going to have to go lower than that. Oh man, I'm going to be here for a while. And I have officially broken the game, because this is not going away. Okay, I closed the car and opened it back up again, and that gigantic spike went away, so that's a good thing, a good start to this. Okay, I've been able to get those to come back in using the rim center offset, but actually making a positive instead of negative, which is strange. I think we're just going to have to deal with having wonky looking suspension because, I mean, this is a really janky setup anyway, so what else am I going to do? Let's bring the brakes even further in, I guess. I don't know, this is going to be a compromise. Yeah, I think that's about as good as the center wheel at the back is going to get, so... okay, let's quickly just go over the rest of the car and make a few subtle changes, and then I'll see if this actually works in BeamNG. And then after that, well, we may as well export a version of it with a proper front end too, because I guess that's gonna happen. Okay, so we have a couple of options to try and hide this. Because I do want to hide it just a little bit. The Bugo red is going to stay, everything else I think is fine to stay. This one actually doesn't have an interior either, but it's a Bugo, okay, it doesn't need that. Just going to quickly slap some 3D stuff on the side perhaps to try and hide it. I guess something like this might work. Now, to be honest with you, I stole this idea from my Discord. If you're ever looking for more build ideas, that is a good place to go because people there are extremely creative and they've always got some weird things. This one specifically, I saw Nat64 was doing it, so thank you for that idea. And also, yes, I am stealing and watching all of your ideas. Everybody on my Discord who makes something, it's fair game for this. I wouldn't call it stealing, but more just iterating. Okay, there we go. One wheel set up and the wheel wells are at least slightly covered. So I think we probably should test this now. Let's see how it drives, if it drives, and hopefully it does. Okay, I've noticed an immediate issue upon bringing it into the photo scene. It's upside down. What is going on? So in the exporter, the car is upside down, which is really awkward. And that means it's not going to work in BeamNG, but I'm going to test it anyways. We're just going to call this the upside down version. So here are the cars in BeamNG. Now there are 4 of them, and that's because I made a couple extra versions while you weren't looking, because I wanted to make sure that we test all possible outcomes of this setup. And here is the first car that we made, and yes, it is indeed upside down, and the rear wheel appears to have got stuck inside of it for some reason. We can flip this around using control, so let's do that real quick. Some nodes are a little bit off on this car. Oh my goodness, flip. There we go. There's something wrong with it, and I hope that you can see that it's floating in the air. I'm not sure why, honestly. I don't really know what's wrong with any of these cars, but I would hazard a guess to say that none of them actually work. That's okay though. Okay, so this car is probably not going to go anywhere, but I do have some hope for some of the others. This one isn't looking so hot. It appears the dual rear wheel has split. The way that I was able to get it so it didn't flip around was to split the wheel like this. So it's technically 2 wheels. It almost looks like an airplane, like front landing gear type thing. But yeah, I also lowered the car significantly. I thought that that might help, but obviously it didn't. So we'll test that one for sure. Third variant over here is the back and the front. This one actually appears to be decent, and I'm wondering if part of the reason that the other ones don't work is because of the lowering on the overall chassis. So I might have to come back and overwrite those, which would be kind of fun. But this one has a good possibility to work. I'm excited for that. And then over here is the, well, I decided to just clone the front and the back together, and it appears to have destroyed itself on the inside. So let's try these things out. Okay, first one is going to be this. Let's see if it actually does anything. Oh, it's actually an auto. Yeah, no, it does not do anything. It is stuck in midair and the oil is starving on the engine. It is toast. Okay, next one. Let's do the different variant with the wheels slightly split. Put her into drive, and Other than the rear suspension collapsing and also being completely detached from the car, it does actually appear to drive fairly normally. For a Bugo, that is. I mean, the black smoke, the loudness, this is just all normal Bugo stuff. If only the back end was actually intact, then this wouldn't be too bad. I gotta figure out a way to make this one work. Yeah, I mean, I've just been driving it around a little bit more, and we're hitting the rev limit constantly, which is very unusual for this car. Up a 15-degree slope, we're basically just dragging the back end around. Like, that's literally what this thing is. It's just dragging pieces around with it. Okay, let's try out the absolutely not gonna work, but I wish it would, setup with the front wheels. I'm very curious to see how they turn, and they don't. Let's put it in drive. It just, I mean, it drives, but it's just dragging itself. Hold on, let's lock the diff. Oh, that's actually better. Oh my goodness. The wheel at the front is spinning. It's like a, oh my goodness, it's like a trolling motor on the front end of there. You know, I would say that this is actually very successful. Oh my goodness. Okay, last but not least, the one that I'm hoping will at least drive straight. The front end looks to be doing a little bit of a thing, but it does have 2 rear wheels, so drive? Yes, it does drive. Okay, this is good. It's not terrible. Just kind of have to, well, hope that you're pointed in a decent direction, because it doesn't steer, kind of as predicted. I'm gonna lock the front diff and see if that does anything. We're kind of capped at 80 kilometers an hour, which is very normal Bugo territory. Keep in mind this car has 35 horsepower. It's not exactly made for anything else, but we might actually make it up to 100 on our single rear front wheel. Come on, let's see a spectacular crash into this pillar at 100 kilometers an hour. Slow motion, and oh, devastating. Very, very good. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try to fix the one that'll actually steer, and then we'll try that one out a little bit. I kind of want to see if we can make it work, and then also flip it over at some point. That is the end goal of this entire challenge, is literally just to flip the thing over. So let me get back into automation. I'll be right back here. Okay, so I'm back in automation, and the goal again is to make this thing work. So we've got it to the point where it doesn't work, and that, I mean, that was fairly easy to do. Now I'm going to make it so it does work. So all I'm going to do to fix this again is just match the rear to the front. So that should put back our uni rear wheel. Then we got to make the front decent again. Basically, to do that, you got to just reset everything to 0 in terms of the advanced settings. So say goodbye to all that. I am concerned that the suspension, how it was, which was -6 on that previous model, was messing it up in some way. So I'm just going to leave it at 0 here. Just normal suspension, nothing crazy. Front end should be fine. Rear, maybe not. But now if we export the car, oh, it's actually proper. Oh goodness, okay, this is great. Let's see if this actually works. Okay, I haven't tested it yet, but I did hear a bang when it came in, and I see that the wheel is twisted, or I guess wheels. So that's not great. It's not a good sign. Let's drive. Nah, it just does the same thing it did before. Disappointingly, it does not want to work. The Bugo is resilient to the desires of me trying to get one wheel. In fact, now it's literally just a spinning car, so I guess I just have to deal with it. You know, I'm not super disappointed. I guess I could expect this to happen. Obviously, it wasn't going to work perfectly, but, you know, I can dream a little bit. I might be able to get it working with some edits in the JBeam file, like making the suspension rock solid and unable to break, but I don't think that that is within the scope of this video. If you have any ideas though on how to fix this kind of stuff, then please let me know, and then we can use them in the future. But if you like this video, be sure to like it, and if you're interested in this kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe. I've been playing automation and BeamNG now for quite a while, having some fun making some weird cars and coming up with more odd ideas, this being one of them. So yeah, if you want to see the ultimate Bugo, be sure to check out some of my other videos. There are playlists all over my channel channel. You can check out the series. It is lengthy though, so if you're interested, you're in for the long haul. But until then, guys, I will see you again next week for some more stuff. Don't forget to check out Malbazo. The series has been ongoing. We're actually about to build the garage in the next episode, so get hyped for that. And next week, some more BeamNG automation, somewhat of a combination of the two perhaps. Probably just one. We'll see. And because I really do like the people who are join button members, I will continue to say their names. Let's go with the top of the list here. We've got Overlord, QT Bear, Terry Williams, G.A. Pope, Davis Heister, the German dude, Mickey K1, Sleep64, Childish Sin, or Sin Lab, Jarrett Grigg, Goofy Plays, Badger, Phoenix Shark. Thank you guys for your support. And also keep in mind, again, the Discord is open for you. With the YouTube, if you join Discord with YouTube, then you can join into a little exclusive club thing we got going on. It's not popping just of yet, but there's some good stuff coming out of there, so yeah, join in. That is a thing. Anyway, I'll see you guys again next time, and yeah, hopefully some more foam in our future.